Hey, tiny parsley faces. I'm going to do this lesson on Screencast-O-Matic, so just follow along and you can pause it and take notes. You can stop it and ask a friend a question as long as it pertains to adverbs, or you can just let it go and take notes as it goes. The notes are on a separate sheet of paper that should be provided to you by Mrs. Vilmer. So here we go. Today we're learning about adverbs. You've probably heard of them before, but we are going to learn how to form them in Latin, the best of all languages. Don't tell Miss Vilmer I said that. First of all, what is an adverb? You probably know this, but if you don't, it's a word that modifies verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So a lot of people think that adverbs just modify verbs, but they actually modify adjectives and adverbs. The one thing that adverbs never ever modify is a noun. If a word modifies a noun, it's an adjective, not an adverb. So adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Another way to figure out if something's an adverb is to ask yourself the right questions. Adverbs answer certain questions. Those questions are how, like she swam quickly. Quickly is an adverb and it answers how did she swim quickly. So it answers the question how. They also answer the question when. When did I spill milk? Yesterday. I spilled milk yesterday. I also spelled yesterday wrong today. So anyway, that's answering the question when. They also answer the question where, like in the sentence, my sister has traveled everywhere. Where has she traveled? Everywhere. Everywhere is an adverb. To what extent is another question they answer, like, I love you very much. How or to what extent do you love me? Very much. And then why, but we're not going to talk about that because that's more complicated. So just remember the adverb questions, how, when, where, and to what extent. So if a word answers that question in a sentence, it's an adverb. Look at this sentence. Harry Styles, I need an S there. Harry Styles scanned the crowd slowly. What question is this answering? I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, that's a second. It answers the question how. How did Harry scan the crowd? Slowly. So slowly is an adverb. It's modifying the word scanned. How did he scan? Slowly. Look at this sentence. Yesterday, Harry Styles was amazingly gorgeous. What question is it answering? I'll give you a second again. Okay, that was a second. It answers the question, well, first of all, yesterday answers the question when. When was Harry Styles gorgeous? Yesterday. And then amazingly answers the question how. How gorgeous was Harry Styles? Or I guess you could say, to what extent was Harry Styles gorgeous? Amazingly. So yesterday modifies was. When was Harry Styles? Yesterday. Amazingly modifies gorgeous. How gorgeous? Amazingly gorgeous. So yesterday modifies a verb, and amazingly modifies an adjective. Both are adverbs. Okay, so how do we form adverbs in English? We're not talking about Latin yet. We're still just talking about English, okay? How do we form them in English? We usually take an adjective and add ly onto the end of it. So we take an adjective and add ly to form an adverb. For example, we take the adjective happy, add an ly, and we get happily. We take an adjective like sad, add ly, sadly. That's our adverb. We take the word fair, we add an ly, we get fairly, the adverb. We take the adjective just, we add the ly, we get the adverb justly. And then passionate, passionately. So that's how we form adverbs. We take an adjective and we add something on the end, an ly, and that's an adverb. Okay, but of course it's always a little more complicated. Some adverbs do not end in ly, like yesterday, today, and tomorrow. All of these words answer the question when, though. So they're still adverbs because they say when the verb is happening. Yesterday I ate a foot, like this cute puppy. When did you eat? Yesterday. So it's still describing ate. So since it's describing a verb, it's an adverb. Take these words, soon, later, and meanwhile. They're all adverbs, but they don't end in an ly. Later, my stomach started to hurt. So later is an adverb that modifies started, which is a verb. When did it start? Later. It answers the question when. Take these two words, anywhere and everywhere. They're going to answer the question where. So I threw up everywhere. Where did I throw up? Everywhere. So everywhere is an adverb too. So just to recap, in English, adverbs end in ly or they answer these questions. Ooh, look at that bird. Okay, now we're actually going to do some Latin. So how do we form adverbs in Latin? You take the adjective and replace the ending with an E. And that E is going to have a macron. See all these macrons. So we're going to take the adjective and replace the ending with an E, like so. Oh, let me just say this. Basically, the E with a macron is like the ly in English. In Latin, it tells us it's an adverb. So look at this adjective. Formosus aum. You've seen that before. It means beautiful. It's an adjective. All you have to do is chop off the ending. So you chop off that US and add an E, and that should have a macron. E with a macron. So now it says beautifully. So formose is beautifully. Novasaum means new. You take off the US, add an E with a macron, and you get newly. That E should have a macron. Frigidusaum, that means cold. We're going to make it an adverb, so we take our adjective, chop off the US ending, add an E with a macron, should have a macron, and it means coldly. Perpetuous means forever, perpetual. That's an adjective. We're going to take off our ending, add an E with a macron, we get perpetually. So just like in English, some Latin verbs do not end in E with a macron, and you already know a lot of them, like jam means now. Hodie is today, cras is tomorrow, heri is yesterday, ubique everywhere, nunquam never. And the list goes on and on and on. And those are adverbs, but they don't have an E with a macron. But they're still adverbs. So here's our recap. This is what you need to remember. Take an adjective. Take off the endings. Add an E with a macron. And that will equal an adverb. So let's do it over here. You've got temerarious, the adjective. It means reckless. We're going to take off that ending. Then we're going to add an E with a macron, which equals temerariae, which means recklessly. All we did was add an ly. And that is how you do adverbs. Your homework tonight is going to be creating and translating adverbs. So, good luck.